Meet Natalie. Natalie loves books.
This is your brain on books. Any questions? And this is Angela. She's a very serious jazz singer.
Shooby-dooby-dooby-doop-doop-doo. And sure, we both like to stay informed, but this world sometimes, am I right? You know what we need? 30 minutes of meditation.
Pop culture meditation.
So we're here to remind you.
We get it. You're smart. But right now, take a deep breath and put your books down. Hello, 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 Angela.
Why did you say hello right when I was taking a drink of my drink?
Because it's funny.
I'm drinking a beer, which is
You're
like...
drinking a cold one?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
I'm drinking a brewski. It was the only thing we had in our fridge.
Well, I'm out of tequila, so I'm doing a vodka soda today.
Oh, okay. Well, that's still good.
I mean, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, your nails look nice.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's what I like to call Golden Girl Pink.
Oh.
It was a little bit more of a dated red than I was thinking when I saw it on the stick. But, I'm not one of those people that's going to tell her to start over.
Right.
I'd rather, even if it looked like awful, I'd just be like, I love it. It's how I roll.
Well, I do that too. Sometimes I'll get something on my nails and it's like, oh, that's a little more grandma than I had counted on.
That, like, literally what I just said to you.
Golden Girl Pink
to me. But
yeah,
it's also okay to get what you want because you're paying. But I'm just never going to do that. But
right.
Anywho, so
but I like it.
Thank you. It's
you're welcome.
On me. Mm-hmm. Appreciate it. All right, so you've been on a few weekend jaunts. You have been a traveling fool. Because I haven't been able to talk to you, and I don't like it.
I know it's weird when we don't see now our listeners, our multitudes of listeners, they hear us every week because rain or shine, Put Your Books Down is there every Tuesday.
We show
into their ears.
We show up. No doubt.
We show up. We get this show on the road. The show must go on. Why, Natalie?
Must go on.
Why? Because we are pros. We are professionals. But what our listeners maybe don't realize is that we sometimes record 2 at a time or whatever, and we'll do like 2 on one weekend and then like 1 the next weekend and then 2 the following. But we've had so much travel, we haven't had a chance to get together in the last couple weeks. Natalie, I have just been traveling I went to visit my friend Lisa. I surprised her for her 50th birthday in Colorado.
So
she had no idea. It was
so
delightful.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just got back this last weekend from maybe one of the nerdiest things that I do. It's the Vocal Jazz Summit, wherein all the jazz singers get together and it's a conference for like talking about jazz singing. And let me tell you something.
Jazz is my bag, totes. Everywhere.
It's very music is my bag. Yes.
Music is my bag.
But you know what it is though, is that it was so wonderful. It was so amazing and wonderful. Famous jazz singers were there, you know. Jane Monheit was there. Brianna Thomas was there. Kate McGarry was there.
Allison was there.
My friend Allison came and joined me. Yeah, so we got to soak this all
humans
up together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Allison's been on the podcast. And we just had the most amazing weekend in Virginia Beach. It was just like community one-on-one time with all these amazing singers. And I learned so much about singing and also just my teaching that I've gotten into and everything. So I'm on cloud 9 right now.
I love that.
Truly.
I love that for you. That's a great thing.
You've been traveling too, right? Like you just got back.
Well, I just went to Los Angeles to celebrate my niece's 3rd birthday. Little Isabel turned 3.
Oh my God.
And I got to hang out with Ian, my nephew. He's 1. And Lauren and Collins and my friends there too. So it was really fun. It was quick. It was Thursday, come back Sunday. Traveling wasn't awesome, but we got there and it was really sweet family time. So I'm just coming back from that last night. So,
well, welcome back.
Thank you.
That's
Glad
really
to be
sweet.
back.
It's really sweet that your whole family goes to your 3-year-old niece's birthday, I think.
Well, we love real hard, as you know.
Yeah.
Sandersons love real hard. And, any opportunity to get over there and get get in her and Ian's face so that they can. I just need to have significant time with them. So
Yes.
that's very important. You know,
They need to know who their Auntie Nat is because
It's
you're
Aunt
the
Nat.
only one they're going to have. Auntie Nat
they
Nat.
call me Nat Nat.
Oh, that's
I don't
so
want to be
cute.
Aunt Nat because Bruce
Right.
had an Aunt Fred. And I feel like that's too similar. And there's nothing wrong with Aunt Fred. It's just
Right.
she talked like this. And I'm not talking bad about Aunt Fred, but that's just the way that it was. And considering I have a raspy voice as is, I just want I'm liking the Nat Nat is a little
Yeah.
daintier, is all I'm saying.
Right.
You know, that's all.
You got to be dainty.
I'm like a delicate flower. I want, I'm like, you know, a lily pad. So Nat Nat, or she calls me Natty, or just Natalie. So I've got all the different names.
That's
fine. But Aunt Nat
Can she
is
say
off the.
She can say Natalie.
Natalie. Mm-hmm.
Natalie.
She goes, come on, Nat Nat.
That's amazing.
Come on, Nat Nat. And then she impersonates my voice. I'm like, Isabel. She's like, Isabel. I'm like, okay, Smarty. She's like, Smarty. I mean, it's really funny.
Oh,
she's adorable. She's stunning. She's like the prettiest little girl I've ever seen.
Yeah, she's looks like a little pistol. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens to her as she gets older.
Oh yeah, me too.
Well, hopefully, what won't happen to her is what we are talking about.
Well, the topic for today is definitely didn't seem tailored or targeted towards females.
Correct.
What we're talking about today, listeners, is it's a documentary I remember seeing the trailer. I every Tuesday I go to Apple Trailers and I look up to see what new documentaries and movies are coming out. I love a trailer. And I remember years ago when this came out, and I actually think I told you I knew this was coming. And it's a documentary called Tickled, and it's from 2016, and it's directed and created by David Farrier.
You say Farrier, I say Farrier.
Farrier?
So,
well, he's New
Farrier.
Zealand. Okay, so anyway, he's
Farrier.
New Zealand
Farrier.
Well, he's a known documentary filmmaker, and it was always like these niche-y type, fun, like silly topics, almost like pop culture-y too, and like social culture-y and stuff like that. And he came across these videos about competitive endurance tickling. And, it's, you get into this film thinking it's going to be funny and silly and like super cringe. And you're kind of laughing. You laugh for a minute and then you don't, because then it turns pretty grim and you just don't. It's just one of those documentaries where you just didn't think you knew what you thought you knew what it was about. And then you're like, oh shit, this is like so many layers to this and it's getting deeper and deeper. So like, it's all funny. It's all silly at first. Yes. And then it's super not so silly because, well, I mean, the reason, so David Farrier reached out to the people that were making these videos. And I want to get it's important to get the names right because it's so bizarre.
There's too many Davids in this movie, by the way.
There's too many Davids, but there's like so many integral people that you have to keep straight. So it's a little bit difficult.
It is.
So he tries to, the producer of these competitive endurance tickling videos was Jane O'Brien Media. This was this company, this media company. And so David Farrier reaches out and wants to just have an interview and learn more about what this is and where this came from, because you see clips of these videos and it's literally these, they look like young adult, I think, boys, which are tied down in shackles voluntarily, and they are being tickled by other young adult males. It's almost like torture, but funny. It's tickling. Okay. and they're tickling each other and you're like, oh, that's kind of weird. And then like more people come on the tickling on this one person. You're like, huh, okay, like where is this going to go? So he reaches out to Jane O'Brien Media, and the response that he got from the media company was so awful and so mean and volatile. And the response was, we refuse to associate with a homosexual journalist. And, just this like calling him all these names, like all he asked was for an interview and just some information. So I'm not sure had this reaction occurred by Jane O'Brien Media, if he would have been as compelled to keep going with this story.
Yes.
Because of the attacks that come in the future. But because he was so shocked at how hostile it was, it made him, he partnered with his friend, Dylan Reeves, and they decided that, okay, well, that reaction has now prompted us to do a serious deep dive into what the hell is going on here.
The first thing that happens when somebody comes in hot like that is like, why are you so weird about this?
Like, whoa, I was just asking a question. Like, to be that defensive,
I thought you'd be proud.
Right. Like, you're doing it. Your name's on the production.
Right. Why are you so...
What's the major malfunction here? I'm sorry. There's a disconnect as to like,
yes,
how hateful that one reaction was.
And it's also like human nature.
It lit the fire for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's human nature to be like, well, I don't know, and maybe not all humans, but definitely for me.
I was like, when I saw this documentary trailer, I was like, what the hell? I was foaming at the mouth for this to come out. Like,
right.
I bought it. It didn't come out in theaters here. So I just bought it before I even rented it. I just knew. I was like, I have to buy this. Like, I don't know what's going on here, but it's about competitive endurance tickling. And then it's not weird that I own it, but we'll get into that maybe a little bit later.
Okay.
It's not. I mean,
I have questions for you.
Okay. All right. So that's the basis of this documentary. And then we go through a lot of back and forth. And so now you go.
I mean, we would have major spoilers if we tried to explain how it all shakes out. But I mean, do you want to spoil it for people, or do you just want them to watch Tickled? This is like one of those things where I do want people to watch this, but I also want to say to them, like, beware, because it's dark.
It's not dark. Silly.
It's not silly.
It's a very good depiction of what a person, like a vindictive, angry, bitter human with buttloads of money, has the time and capability of the kind of damaging of lives that can do. It's unreal.
Yeah, you just described it perfectly.
I mean, it's so okay. Well, what are your questions?
Okay,
and I don't know if I want to do spoilers yet. Let's just feel it out.
Let's just feel it out. So let me ask you this first question, because this is going to be a spoiler, but I don't really care. At what point, when you're watching Tickled, did you realize that, in fact, you were watching a fetish going on?
It didn't. I'm going to shoot you straight. It takes me a minute. You know this. You know that I'm like, I get in the zone and then I'm like, and it's in hindsight, I'm like, huh. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. So it actually took the whole movie for me to, and it may have been the third or fourth time I watched it. Cause I watch people watch it. Well, after the movie, I was like, I did that. It was more like, I felt after I watched it that I had participated.
You are so sweet.
Oh, aren't you sweet? Oh, you're so cute.
So cute, Natalie.
Yeah, I know.
It was just
such a little dum-dum.
Tickling. It wasn't anything.
It didn't occur to me that I was engaging in this, like, just by watching this documentary. And by the way, don't deter people from watching this, because you're telling everyone that if you watch this, that you're getting into fetish videos.
I'm not saying that they're getting into fetish videos, but I mean,
you're not.
When you start watching this, the best thing is I made Frank watch it with me. And so I just like watched him watching it, which is
he mad at me?
He was mad at me because he was like, why are you making me watch this? This is so uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable. But, and then at what point did you realize that, Jane O'Brien Media was not a woman?
Um,
How long?
I think it was when it was when more of the lawsuits happened, and there was also Terry. There was another alias called Terry
Terry
Tickle,
Tickle.
Terry DeSisto, but Terry Tickle. I think that when the boys were so they're getting paid thousands of dollars. These kids,
Yes.
young adults, are getting paid
Yes.
thousands of dollars. They're getting computers, laptops, plane tickets, all of these things to do these tickling videos. So especially, it was targeted in lower income, very dangerous neighborhoods where these young adults needed this money. These guys needed this money. And so when they decided to get out of it, because these videos were being released on YouTube without consent, they were actually told it was not going to happen, and then they were demanding them to be off. Then came the bullying, the cyberbullying, essentially the Jane O'Brien Media started trying to ruin these guys' lives. And
doxing. It's called doxing. Yeah, doxing them.
Right.
Where they would
and explain what doxing is.
It's like they put on the website like a person's name, a picture of them, their address, their phone number, their email, their everything. And they're like, this person is doing this, and
emailing employers and family members
and saying you shouldn't hire this person for a job,
like
or you shouldn't
calling
have this
them
person.
Pedophiles and deviants and all of this stuff because of the rejection of essentially because I think it was like a rejection thing and the loss of control. And this was how.
Yes.
So when that started happening, when I realized the ruining of the lives things, which is a lot like squirreling from Scientology. Sorry, but it is. Same thing. It's called squirreling. When you leave Scientology, you get squirreled. And people show up at your house.
No idea that was a word.
Yeah. Squirreled.
Whoa. Squirreled.
So I think that's when I realized, I was like, this isn't, and I'm not saying women are better than men, but it wasn't. I was like, this isn't a woman doing this to these people.
Also,
I just had a feeling.
You just had a good hunch.
And also the people that we saw in this documentary that David Farrier would confront.
Yes.
They were all male.
Yeah. So they sent Jane O'Brien Media sent their media representatives to New Zealand to talk to this documentary filmmaker, and they just got super hostile, super fast. Just you better cease and desist this, don't do this to us. And it was just like, oh, well, no, we're not gonna stop. We're gonna keep going.
Because because they kept threatening David Farrier, and he's
crazy.
You're egging me on. Like a lot of people, and I would have reacted the same exact way. Like you have made this so much weirder than it already was.
Yeah.
And it was just it was really dumb. But best thing I think, if anyone out there, if you're trying to doxy people or don't do that, just don't react like that, and then maybe people will leave you alone.
I know.
However,
it low.
It's still
keep it low.
It's just none of it's cool. Like to do this to these young boys and without their consent. And I mean, I have no problem with people having fetishes. Like, do you?
No, totally.
This is a free country. Okay.
Yeah. And
have all the fetishes in the world.
Yeah.
But, protect the people that are willing to help provide the entertainment for your fetish. And I think that's usually a common etiquette within that community. I think it's a lot about protection. And then when this happened, even other people that were part of this community were mortified, and they were going after this Jane O'Brien Media company too. This is bullshit. You can't do this. That's not what we're about. So you're making us all feel like that the people that make these videos are all doing that to these people, and we're not.
I know.
Can't have anything nice, ruining it for all.
Yeah, the nice man who just had a regular old fetish. He was like, yeah,
he was so nice.
But this is what was shocking to me, is that we find out that there's tickle cells all over the country.
Yes,
and they're filming these things on the freaking Motel 6 off Highway 41,
yep,
and getting all these videos. We find out it's this tickling empire, and this guy is just the guy who's running all this is just a full-time dick. That's all he does is he just films these kids. They're young men. They're young men. They're not kids. They're over 18, I think.
Or 18, I think.
Yeah, and
They're
then
18.
threatens them with like, well, you can't quit because I gave you money.
And this is a trust fund baby with
Okay.
like endless money.
Yeah, endless money. So he's just an absolute shit show of a person, is what we find out, basically. At what point did you when you were a kid, did you like being tickled?
So I'm glad you brought that up. I didn't like being tickled, but I did, I did, but I didn't, because what happens when I get tickled? So my dad, Bruce, would always play this game. It was like something from I Love Lucy called Martha. And if we said Martha, he would do this thing. He was like, slowly I turn. And then he would chase us and tickle us,
Yeah.
But if I get tickled really hard, I projectile vomit straight up. I mean, I choke on my laughing and I throw up. I'm a puke. So when people have tried to tickle me, yes. So it's real easy because I'm like, I'm going to throw up. So one time Lauren and I were in my mom's car. She was inside this plant store called Hocot's. And it was really hot outside. It was summer. And I think the windows were up, but we don't have to like call Child Protective Services. It was a garden nursery place.
Hocot's.
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 HOCOTT''S.
Ho.
Yeah. Just relax. Yeah. Just relax.
Like a cot. Okay.
All right. So, and we were in the back seat and my sister Lauren starts tickling me. Like so back, she's like, uncle, say uncle. And I was like, I can't, I couldn't do it. And I completely threw up in the back seat of my mom's car and it ruined the car. It was just done.
Oh man.
Yeah. I'm a puker.
That's brutal.
So if you tickle me, you're going to be covered in my vomit. So I guess does that answer your question? Do you like to get tickled?
No, I hate getting tickled. And I hated getting tickled when I was a kid, too. I hated it because it's torture. And what you start to realize when you watch this...
Does anybody really like it?
No, nobody likes being tickled. Who?
Well, I think people like watching people get tickled, obviously.
What?
Right? That's the fetish.
Okay.
Angela, that's literally the movie we're talking about.
Natalie, you're saying people...
Watching people...
Do you really like watching people get tickled? Is that what you're coming to with this?
Holy Mother of God.
You just said people like watching people get tickled. So I'm just
That's
assuming
literally
that means
the basis
you.
of the movie Tickled. No.
I know, but you're
don't,
defending
obviously.
These people who like to watch people get tickled.
Well, we were supposed to be defending fetish. We're not judging fetishes. I'm just trying to stay true to our open-mindedness. Okay. We're non-judgmental. We don't judge on this show.
Okay. Fine.
That's all.
I'm not.
If you
I'm
want to
not
watch
judging.
someone get tickled, that's none of my. That do you. Just don't.
Do you want to watch somebody get tortured?
Well, I mean, they're laughing.
Do you like watching torture videos?
You know what? No, I don't. I've never watched one. I mean, I've seen movies that made me feel like I was being tortured, like Titanic, but whatever.
Oh, you had to bring that up just because of that whole thing.
Oh,
Natalie.
Nope. Move on. Nope.
Gosh, you are inappropriate today.
It's not. What? Do you have any other questions? Any follow-ups?
I'm just yanking your little chain. You know that,
I know,
right?
You're just busting my bees. Don't you tickle me.
I'm gonna get you.
I will barf on you.
No, I don't really have any other questions other than just like I remember fake laughing when people would tickle me because what I really wanted to do was like kick them in the face, but I just didn't have the like ability to kick them in the face. If you tickle me, I'm going to kick you in the face.
Well, it's like a knee-jerk reaction. I tickled this guy I had a crush on in 3rd grade. And I tickled him and he punched me in the face. He was like, stop. And I was like, I'm not. And then he punched me in the face and I had the black eye. And you know what? I didn't even get mad because I was like, you know what? I should have stopped tickling him because I don't even think he meant to do that. It was just one of those reactions like, stop. And then, had a nice little shiner. Well, don't tickle people that don't want to be tickled.
Yeah. Tickling needs to be completely consensual.
Consensual tickling.
And if you're going to go on camera and be chained up by your arms and legs at your wrists and ankles and get tickled, It needs to be consensual, and you know
Yes.
that there's going to be a video made of you. And I mean,
And
just
it's
everybody
gonna be on
listening.
the internet because
It's
it's
yeah.
competitive endurance tickling. I'm sorry. It's too ridiculous.
It's
Sorry. It's just too much to not go on the internet.
it's just
So just don't
yeah.
do it on the internet. Don't do the videos.
I
You
think
know?
that's the moral of the story. Just don't do the videos, people. Just don't do it. Don't do
You know what?
tickling
You
videos.
can have an audience.
Yeah,
Just do a
right.
live performance. You just can have people there. You don't have to record it.
Maybe like OnlyFans are doing. I wonder if there's any like OnlyFans people doing live competitive tickling. Also, why is it called competitive? I never got that. Like, it's not like wrestling. It's not like they're keeping score. It clearly is not competitive.
Do you think that was to make it seem less fetishy for the participants that were willing to be paid to do it? It sounded more like, is it what MFA or MMA? They were trying to say
Yes,
it's kind of
because
like
they
the
were
fighting
targeting.
thing.
Yeah, they were targeting like cage fighter and like MMA
Yeah.
people. Yeah,
Yeah. So I think they just added that on there to make it seem more like a sport.
right.
Right.
Spoiler alert, people. The person who's doing this is this guy named David D'Amato, we find out. And he's this like gross man who, by the way, goes to jail at one point and then continues running his tickling empire from jail. Right, Natalie?
He was a school administrator. He was a guidance counselor. He was like worked in schools.
Oh my
And that's so
God.
terrifying because
Yes.
when he got rejected, the reason he went to jail that time, he was rejected by one of these young boys that he started talking, had an online relationship with when he was 17. And then when he was 18, the boy was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And so he broke through like 2 computer systems to retaliate against him and like disabled like entire softwares to try and ruin this kid's life.
Oh
And he
my
got caught.
gosh.
Yeah.
This guy was dangerous. And this whole thing, we find out, went on for like 20 years.
Yeah.
And then they talk. Oh man. Anyway, Tickled is just. It's amazing. I definitely think people should watch it. I mean, I was.
You need to know. It's just you. I mean, it's just one of those documentaries where you're like, oh, you think you know what it's about,
Right.
and you do, but it's
Kinda.
also like gets into this like the power of the internet and this whole what with someone that has endless amounts of money and is a horrible person, what people are capable of doing and have no shame in doing to other people and like young
Right.
people.
Yeah.
You know, like an 18-year-old being called a pedophile because they don't want to do wrestling videos anymore. That's really hard to shake when it's been said. You can't just say, oh, someone called me a pet. You know, you don't just drop that. You can't. That's hard to like get away from that. So it's just the worst.
It's really hard.
This guy was the worst. Yeah.
He's the worst. He used every terrible, terrible trick in the book to just totally trap these people. And and then I watched the follow-up. Did you watch the follow-up?
No,
YouTube
I wrote a note. I forgot. I can't remember. I think I have, but because I remember the like confrontation. It's called like what? The Tickled King?
The Tickle King.
The short sequel? The Tickle King?
It's the Tickle King. And it's like a follow-up of this guy when they finally got the documentary made. This guy who they figure out they've like I mean, they dox him. They don't dox him, but they reveal who this person is that's doing all this terrible stuff. And amongst his threats and all the craziness, they finish the documentary. They put it out like at film festivals. They're screening the movie at a film festival, and the guy, David D'Amato, is in the audience watching the film, and like gets up and starts being all controversial and saying stuff like you better lawyer up,
and
you better lower, you know, just awful. But then I just would like to tell everybody, but then he died, so he's dead. The Tickle King
and I
is
can't
dead.
find out. You can't find out how. They won't disclose how he died. I tried to find it.
I think he just. I thought he just died. I didn't know that.
It's like
I assumed he had a heart attack.
Not disclosed.
Maybe
Did you
he
read that?
No, but maybe. I mean, how do you think he died? I think he maybe just like looked in the mirror and just was like, ugh. I'm dead.
That I would believe that.
He was gross.
But
he was
also
so gross.
like people like that are always, I don't know, it's just like such a bad guy that
Yeah.
you almost think they're going to live forever. But
Oh, yeah,
this guy
like a
was
villain.
rotten from the core. Maybe just like
Mhm.
was so rotten inside, his organs stopped working.
Ugh, gross.
Deep thoughts.
Well, anyway,
Natalie.
yeah. So that's it. That's great. The tickled everybody.
Tickled documentary.
Great.
Mhm.
So, do you have a pit stop?
Yeah.
I do.
You do? Okay, good, because I don't.
One of our listeners sent me a text, and I would like to read to you what she said. Well, I'm assuming it's a her. The person's name is Jocelyn Balls. I don't know Jocelyn.
Okay.
Do you know Jocelyn? Yeah. Jocelyn Balls? You don't know Jocelyn? Jocelyn Balls. Okay.
No.
He or she, whoever they are, I'm not really sure, said
Is Jocelyn, are you messing with me or something? Am I missing something?
Jocelyn Balls. Yeah. Anyway, said
Darren's laughing. Y'all are laughing at me. I feel like I'm missing the joke.
Well, I don't know. Like Jocelyn Balls is, a normal name, right? Anyway, so
like
Jocelyn
juggling balls?
No, it's Jocelyn.
Okay, whatever. I don't. Okay. Is this like when I said cuckling? I'm not getting it. And nobody's helping me. No one's helping me right now.
Nobody actually.
No one's helping me.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Which of Brad's features are your favorite? Eyes, hands, etc., or is it the whole package? And follow up, if you met Brad on the street and you had never seen him before, let's just say he wasn't an actor, Jocelyn wants to know, how long would it take you to climb him like a tree? So go ahead.
Great questions.
I know, great, right?
Really, really great. Yeah.
I think my favorite, I think I'll answer first, Jocelyn, if you're out there listening, Jocelyn. I'm going to go with, I think it's his lips.
Duh, you just took the words right out of my lips.
It's the lips, right?
It's his lips.
Mm-hmm. It's the yips. Ooh. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Yeah. Right? That's it.
Yeah. You gonna take those lips, Angela? You gonna take it?
You gonna
take those lips. You're gonna take those lips.
You doing your Paul Rudd? You're doing your Rudd.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna take it. You're gonna take your lips.
Yeah.
Take that lips. Take those lips.
Good.
Yeah, what's your lips, everybody?
So what's your follow-up answer?
If I met him on the street, how long would I don't think I would climb Brad. I think I just like looking at Brad. What would you do?
What would I do that wouldn't get me like
arrested
or something, like for following or
would you follow him?
Well, I would want to safely and harmlessly be in a situation where we could have an encounter.
Would it be awkward?
Honestly, what that situation sounds like is like the scene from Meet Joe Black, where if he was walking on the street and I passed him, and the only difference in the movie of that is I'm going to be the one that's going to be staring at him, walking off and getting hit by 80 different cars at the same time.
So that's really your fantasy.
Which is, I guess, karma, because I make fun of that movie so much.
Right. Exactly. I think that's
I think I would just zone out. I don't know what I would. I guess I would zone out and get hit by cars.
Yep. You would be the one getting hit by cars, like flying
not
through
him.
the air?
It'd be me because I wasn't paying attention because I was staring.
Because you'd be so distracted.
And trying to come up with an idea in my head, how do I approach him? What's a non-dangerous way to facilitate this urge? And then I'm by the time I thought of it, I'm like, oh, and I look over and I get hit by a car 80 different ways.
I'm just
it's like Meet Joe Black Part 2.
It's
like Meet Joe Nat.
Oh my gosh.
Meet Joe Nat.
Meet Joe Nat.
Nat. Sure.
Oh, I don't want you to fly through the air.
We're all full circle here.
We went full circle. I don't want
Full
you flying
circle.
through
It's
the
okay.
air, but yeah. But
Oh, it's
but
just movies. It's not
just
real.
fantasy. It's just
It's
fantasy.
just fantasy.
It's just acting. It's just acting. It's just
And I'm sure that
acting.
some of our listeners that get tired of me making fun of Meet Joe Black right now, you are welcome to smirk and do like a little bit of a nod.
Yeah.
I get it.
Right. Yeah.
That's for you.
That
look,
is.
I'm a team player, and that is for you.
Yeah. You want to give people.
Sharp. Yep.
You just want to give people what they want. I know. You're good to your fans like that. I know. I appreciate
I try
that.
to be. I certainly try.
Well, it's been delightful chatting with you this week. The show has to go on. I mean, it's just
Absolutely.
The show must go on. We've gotten so much great feedback about our new theme. People love our new theme.
I know. I love our new theme song. It's so good. It's so like clean and quick and nice.
And we've gotten great feedback about our new logo too. It's so fun to have us both on there.
Rizzo and Sandy?
Yes.
And Pete?
It's totally Rizzo and Sandy.
It's actually the same cartoons, and I'm so proud of it because we've talked about this before, and this is another example of us going back to it. Because if we were the characters you said, like from the cartoons, you'd be Rizzo.
Yep.
And I'd be Sandy.
Yeah. From the opening.
And so now it's like forever.
Grease.
And then, and then Pete, our little angel, is going to be on our logo forever too.
Yes.
It's very well represented. Yes.
Yeah. Pete's our little beauty school dropout. Love him.
He's our beauty school dropout. Oh.
No graduation day for Pete.
And that's how he would sound if he could sing.
Oh. I think he sounds like Ray Charles though.
Okay.
Or Otis.
Oof. Let's Otis.
I think it's Otis. Yeah.
Oh, we can't make me weepy on the ep. Let's not.
Oh, sorry.
It's too sweet. No, it's good. It's the good kind. It's the sweet kind. No, I love it. I love talking about him, and I love talking about Pete and associating with my favorite things. So
I know.
This is good. This is good for me. Remember?
It is good.
Good.
Yeah, we have to keep those lines of communication open because he was the best. He was the best boy. Mm-hmm.
It's not good to shove it down.
No.
Let it into your bottomless pit. Yeah.
No.
We're all about teaching how to grieve on Put Your Books Down too. It's really fun.
Mm-hmm. It is.
A lot of yucks.
Lots of yucks. Anywho, everybody, we love you all. Don't forget to send us a review.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Well, I didn't know I was interrupting you. Oh my God, again. Stop it. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to tickle you. What? If you keep talking like this, I'm going to tickle you.
Tickle your ass with a feather, Natalie. Oh, I'm sorry. That's just, I went too far. Always. Sorry.
She Angela-ed it.
Yep. I did. I Angela-ed it. Per usual. That's how I do. All right. Well, what do you have to say for now? What do you have to say?
Angela, as always, it's a pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
I love you dearly, and I want to say to you, namaste away from competitive endurance tickling.
Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah. I don't even have anything to add to that, but namaste away from.
Namaste, no doubt.
Namaste. Tickled.
Oh, that's good.
It's not good. Tickled was gross. Ugh.
No. You're on a real roll.
Sorry, everybody.
It's okay. It's okay. If they haven't already turned it off, we're fine.
All right. If you've listened this far, we're sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, dear.
All right. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye. Now, isn't that better? Thanks for listening. Feel free to leave us a review and be sure to subscribe wherever you get your shows. Put Your Books Down is produced by ClantonCreative.com.